Hello everyone, I am Douglas E. Welch and this is A Gardener's Notebook. You can find out all about A Gardener's Notebook at our website, douglasewelch.com. Now, as you may know, A Gardener's Notebook and myself are members of the Troy-Bilt Saturday 6. We are 6 bloggers all across the U.S. We write for the Troy-Bilt newsletter, we write on all things gardening on our own blog, and, surprise, surprise, we get to check out Troy-Bilt's new equipment. Now, I want to assure you that any reviews I do are always my own words, not Troy-Bilt's, and you can always rely on that. Now, today's product that we're going to review is the TBC57 20-volt lithium-ion battery-powered garden cultivator. And that's a very, very long name for a very, very small product. The fact is, I want to say right off the bat, I actually like this product a lot. I have the wired version of this product, which plugs into an extension cord and you use that in your garden. It's pretty much the same drivetrain, the same rotors, but of course this replaces the electric motor with a lithium battery operated electric motor. It makes things a lot easier to use in the garden. You don't have to worry about getting the cord caught up in the tines, wrapped around your shoulders to keep it out of the way, and all of that. Now, one of the big changes they've made in this cultivator is the ergonomic handle they put on it. Now, I won't say the older cultivator suffered from not having the ergonomic handle, but it certainly is a nice improvement to this device. The handle on the device folds up nicely for storage. You just twist 2 little thumb screws and the handle folds down so you can fit it into small areas in your garden shed, in your garage, wherever. Now, what I really want to stress with this product is this is not a rototiller. This is not a tiller. This is a cultivator, and they use that name, I think, to be very specific about the uses for this device. It's really designed for fitting up tiny garden beds. I won't even say tiny garden beds, the smaller garden beds in your garden. Something where you're refurbishing a garden bed by adding compost or other organic material, or if you just simply need to work the garden bed around existing perennials, for example, in your garden. It will work fairly hard soils. I've actually probably had it chewing up things that shouldn't have really been working on, but I did it as a test just to see could it break through some rather hard soils and actually do a decent job. And the fact is, it does. Obviously, it'll lower the battery life if you do that, and it's simply slow. You wouldn't want to do that a lot because it will simply take you longer. If you have very hard soil to work, you're probably going to want to go out and get a standard gasoline-powered large rototiller to do that type of work. Now, another nice feature of this cultivator is you can actually take off the outer 2 tines and have a very, very narrow space of tines so you can work around those perennials. You can work down garden rows, perhaps between your vegetables if you're working in a vegetable garden. And it's simple to do. You pull a couple pins out, you slide the tines off, and you put a couple pins back in. That's all it takes. This tiller, as well as the wired one I was mentioning earlier, are also variable speed. Now, for most purposes, I tend to be the put it on full and let it go type of person, and if you're fitting an open bed, if you're working in an open garden bed that you're refurbishing, that's fine. You just want it to till as hard as it can. Of course, if you're between rows or around tender perennials or around tender plants, having that variable speed is actually very nice. You can just let off the handle a little bit, the tines will slow down, and you can actually get quite a variety of speeds out of this cultivator. I think more so, in fact, than the wired cultivator that I've been using in the past. Now, one nice thing too about this cultivator that I think Troy-Bilt took some user feedback on is the wired cultivator has a double interlock system where you have to press a button and then hold the bar to actually turn the cultivator on. This, I think they simplified. They realized that perhaps it didn't need quite as much safety devices, and you simply have one handle that you squeeze to do your variable speed and turn the tiller off and on. Now, you may notice I tend to review mainly Troy-Bilt's battery-operated tools. And the fact is, they're just a better fit for my garden. I live here in the urban area of Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley. I don't need big, hulking, gasoline-powered equipment to fit in my garden. The battery-operated stuff simply works better for me. And this is going to be a really nice addition to that. It also means less maintenance. I grew up on a farm helping my father tear down lawnmower engines and tractor engines and changing oil and changing gas and all this stuff, and frankly I don't care for it very much. I don't like having grease on my fingers, and that's why I went into computers, not into mechanic work like my father. Do very much the same thing but in different worlds. It's so nice not to have to worry about that with this cultivator. I can simply plug it in, charge a battery, plug in the battery, and go. I don't have to worry about oil and gas or any other types of maintenance on it, and that is just simply a large weight off my mind. I can just go out in the garden and work. Now, as with most battery-operated tools, it always pays to have an extra battery on hand, and you can actually order extra batteries directly from Troy-Bilt. The fact is, if you buy other Troy-Bilt battery-operated equipment, they'll use the same batteries, and so you may get two in that regard. It's really a pain to have to stop halfway through a job because your battery's died. It's just one of the limitations of battery-operated equipment. So think about getting an extra battery when you order your devices. I think it'll really help you out a lot. Overall, I think it's a great product. I like it a lot. It's going to get a lot of use here in my garden, in my smallish garden. I do use it for a lot of different things. You'll see some footage within this review of us working up an old it used to be a rose bed. It now needs to be refurbished. We need to get more compost. We need to get more good organic material in there, and this is nearly perfect for doing that. I hope you've enjoyed this review of the TBC57 Cultivator. Please leave your comments on the website again at douglasewelch.com. If you'd like to go directly to a gardener's notebook, you can go to douglasewelch.com/AGN, the initials of a gardener's notebook. I'd love to hear what's going on in your garden. I'd love to hear what products you're liking to use in your garden. Send them along, leave them as comments. Send them to agn@welchright.com as well. Finally, watch out. During the month of October, just in a few weeks, we're actually going to be giving one of these cultivators away to a lucky gardener's notebook reader, listener, watcher, whatever. So watch for that to appear on the blog. You'll be able to enter in a variety of ways, including leaving a comment on the website, joining our mailing list, and a few others. So keep your eye on that. I hope one of you can be the lucky winner.